Okay, brilliant. So when we were talking yesterday and we made that, was it yesterday we made a little Python program? No, it was the time before. And we had to change, if you remember, we had to change the mode of the file, and we did a +X thing to give it executable permissions. And what I thought I'd do for this very short lesson, I think, we'll just talk about permissions and how it works. So I'm going to just list what's in the directory that I'm in, and let's have a look. So we've got the one called Run All Scripts. I'm gonna list with a longer, with the -L, so that we can see what permissions that one's got. Okay, well, let's just the one at the top, all in one. sh save. Okay, we can see that it's not a directory because it doesn't begin with a D. This one here begins with a D. But we can see that it's got RWX, R nothing X, R nothing X. And what this tells me is that I'm the owner because I'm Pi. So I created this file. And let's have a look at these R's and D's and that kind of thing. So we'll concentrate on this first. So the owner of the file has got R, W and X. So the owner has got read, write and executable permissions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So the next three, I don't know why we've got an E in there. Let's make that an X. The next three are for any groups that that person is a member of. So any groups that are actually on the machine might have read, write or executable permissions for that file. And then everybody else, anybody on the machine, read, write and executable. So as you can see from, let's look at this one, bash scripting. Everybody on this computer can read, can write and execute this file. And I want to change that. I don't really want that to be the case with this one. So I'm going to clear the screen and I'm going to change the permissions with that. Okay, but this time I'm not going to use add X, I'm going to use -X. Okay, and what was it called? Bash scripting. Yeah, cool. So next time I list, let's go back to it. Nobody's got executable permissions. Everybody can read it, everybody can write to it, but nobody can execute it. See how that works?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's take away the writing permissions. New permissions are, yeah, cool. So it tells me, actually tells me that the new permissions are this. So anybody can read it, but nobody can write it. And we're just going to list it again to make sure. Okay, it's not executable. And I've taken away my writing permissions. So this looks a little bit complicated, and actually there's a much easier way to do this, and I'll explain how it works in a numerical system. So let me make this a little bit bigger. And I want to just concentrate on this table down here. So let's look at these numbers. Number 4 equals read, number 2 equals write, and 1 is execute. So if I type chmod 444 and then the name of the file, what permissions do you think I'm going to have? It's a bit of a trick question because you're looking at it and you're going, well, read, read and read. Yeah. But basically what we're doing here is this 4, or the first digit, is for the owner. The next one is for the group, and the next one is for everyone else. So this will basically just give everybody read permissions and nothing else.
Okay.
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 So if I add one or two of them together, so let's say I say 5. 555. So what permissions will we have then?
Where's 5?
There isn't one, so we've got to add them together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone can read and only one person can execute.
Well, actually, because this is the owner, this is the group, and this is everybody else, everybody can read and everybody can execute.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. So if I do this, 666, number of the beast.
Everyone can read and everyone can write.
Absolutely, yeah. And one of the most common ones that you'll see, let's just look at this here. So 700, basically the owner can do everything, everybody else can do nothing. Here, 744, the owner can do everything and everybody else can just read it. This one here is the most common one, 755. It means the owner can do anything to that file. Everybody else can just read it and execute it. They can't change it.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll want people to, if it's not an executable file anyway, you might want them to be able to write to it, to update things for you. So you might give this permission, 766. It's not very common, but it does happen. And if you want just everybody to be able to do whatever they want to that file, 777. But the most common one is 755. So I'm going to just change, just clear this again. I'm going to change the permissions to 755 on bashscripting.sh, list it again, and you can see that the owner can do everything, everybody else can read it and execute it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's basically, but it also works for directories as well. This is a directory, and it says D at the front, so it's just telling us it's a directory. This says L at the front, so it's telling us that it's a link. And it's just basically a link that goes to my website there. Helps me when I'm connecting in from remote. I can just use that link and go directly to where the website is. So yeah, that's directories in a nutshell. The most common, let's have a quick look. The most common yeah. So this directory here, can you tell me the numbers I'd have to set in this command to achieve this? Forget about the D. Let's look at the RWX.
Let's see now. Everyone can read. Everyone can write and everyone can execute.
So what
333?
What can, sorry?
333?
333. Well, the owner can read, write and execute.
Or is it the one under it?
Ah, okay. Well, this one, 777. Everybody can do anything to that one.
Because, okay. I was just taking as for each value was one, but it's actually, okay.
So we're looking at this. This has got nine digits really. So the first 3 are for the owner, the next 3 are for the groups, and the next 3 are for everybody else. So the owner can do everything. What number is that?
4.
To be able to do everything?
Oh, sorry, 7.
7, absolutely. Yeah. And then the group can read and execute?
3.
Read and execute?
Oh, 6.
Read and execute? Yeah, absolutely. Cool. And so can everybody else. Cool. Let's have a look at one here. There's one here that's only read write. And okay, this is perfect because this is not an executable file, it's just a text file. So we have a look at this. Everybody can read it, but only the owner can write to it. So what would the numbers be for that?
Everyone can read. That's 4.
Yeah. So what's the first number? The owner can read and write.
Owner can read and write. That's 644.
644. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's the most common permissions you'll see on non-executable files.
Okay.
So I can read and write it, but nobody else can. Excellent. Cool. So let me just say, you're not connected to the... Are you connected already to the server?
No.
Okay, you don't need to. I found something out today that I didn't know, and it's just really blatantly obvious, but I didn't know it. You're on Mac, aren't you? Yeah. So your terminal accepts just about every command that the server does. So do you want to open up just your terminal, and we'll explore your terminal instead. I'm going to stop this recording.